Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. So last video we did, well, video before that, yeah, I asked you out of 3 books what you'd like to see, and everybody, well, the majority voted spooky, but there were a lot of people that wanted to see me colour in Halloween by the wonderful Jasmine Becket-Griffith. This is by Blue Angel Publishing. In case you're interested, not that I do it, but Jasmine and Blue Angel Publishing do tarot cards and oracle cards, I think. I don't know what the difference is, but yeah, her beautiful artwork can be seen on those cards too. And you can buy prints and all sorts. So what I did was, I've got a copy of Jasmine's page that I want to do with you, and it is this one. Now, I haven't decided on pencils because this paper, I do find it a little finicky. The last picture I did, let me show you, Jasmine books. Oh, of course I wouldn't be able to find it quick enough, would I? I think it's here. Let me see. Yeah, it's here. So the last picture I did, and I looked it up in my colouring diary, I did these 4 and posted them on Instagram. There's not a video for these, I just did them by myself. And I used Prismas and some gouache paint to do it, because it is a little finicky. So I think we'll stick with Prismas today, if that's okay. Unless something like the Faber-Castell Black, because they're lovely and creamy and soft. The Faber-Castell Black Edition. I don't know. All I know at the moment is how I'm going to do the background, and I'm going to do that first and foremost because I want to get it out the way. You know what I'm like with backgrounds. So in Jasmine's picture, if you put in Google Queen of Halloween Jasmine Becket-Griffith, this picture will come up with how she's done it, and I'm going to copy that. That's how I love to do Jasmine's work. I'm going to copy her colour schemes. I might change a few bits here and there, we'll see, but it is such a gorgeous picture, it just had to be done. So in this space here is blue, and I'm going to use some acrylic paint, and I've just got cheap paint. I'm trying really hard on the channel to make sure that it's inclusive for everybody, so that the supplies I'm using are budget friendly to all of us. So this is called Prussian Blue, and it's Crafter's Choice. It is just a cheap acrylic paint, and I am going to paint the background, and then I'm going to use some pencils over the top just to sort of darken around it. And all around the back here is black, apart from the lights in the windows, so it's just going to be so much fun. So I might Posca those, but yeah, just simple. So I'm going to take my Crafter's Choice Prussian Blue and a little pot that was left over from an old dinner service, and I'm going to put, yeah, it's coming out. I haven't used this for a while, so that's way too much. And then I'm going to take my spray bottle, which is just one I got from the garden centre. It's nothing fancy schmancy, and I'm just going to put a tiny bit of water on it. That will help me spread it out. And then I'm taking my paintbrush, which is slightly damp, and then I'm just going to mix that in. And if I've put too much water in, well, hey ho, we can water it down. We can add more paint, whatever. I'm just going with the flow. So I'm just going to mix that up. That will just help me spread the paint so you don't get those gloopy, streaky marks. And it's quite old, this paint. I do have some others. However, this is a cheap one, and it's actually quite opaque. So, yeah. I brought some Castell Art, I think. A whole, like 60 box of them. And they just were very, very translucent, shall we say. Which is good in certain circumstances, but... Right, I need protection. Right, so I'm just going to put that behind. And the reason I'm not using alcohol markers is because I'm really funny with these precious books like this, that you can see it on the reverse side, and Jasmine gives you a story about the picture. So, yeah, I'm quite funny about that. Now, I'm not going to worry about going right up into these tight spaces because I'm going to add pencil, and that's the reason why I'm using acrylic paint. because I'm going to put a tiny bit more water in there actually. Because pencils will work over it beautifully, so that's why I'm using acrylic paint. And because I liked this colour, it was a good match for the picture that Jasmine's done. So I'm going to fill in as much as I can of these spaces. I might switch to a smaller brush. I might regret not using alcohol markers in a minute. But yeah, it's such a precious book, and they were gifted to me, these books. And I know Kevin commented the other day, I thought he'd purchased this, but he hadn't. And this was before I wrote in my books who'd purchased them for me. And yeah, so it's such a beautiful book, and it's so precious because they're gifted. I don't want to spoil it, is what I'm rambling on about, folks. So I'm just going to keep going. And yeah, it's going to look streaky. I might need to do a couple of coats. It's not, this paint is very old. It's as old as the channel, I think, this paint, if not older. Actually, it's older. I remember getting it from the works I got it from in the UK. So, yeah. So I've watered it down just a little bit more, just to help with that spread. Oh, I hope I haven't fluffed this page up. I'm going to be really angry with myself if I have. So I think I'm just going to have to be patient and take my time and gently do it instead of trying to rush it. How does that sound, people? Okay, so I'm going to go off and I'm going to fill in all this up to the houses line, and then we'll meet back up when I've done that, and we'll do the next part. I'll make sure it's dry before I come back on camera. All right, my lovely friend, see you in a second. Right guys, so I know it looks a holy mess right now, but I got out the Faber-Castell Black Edition pencils because they're soft and creamy, and I'm hoping, fingers crossed, that I know they'll work over the acrylic, but I hope they'll work on the paper. So I'm going to try and use these. So to get rid of this horrendous looking background, or actually to work with this horrendous looking background, I've just got two colours. And I've got the, oh yeah, I forgot they don't have, do they not have, no they don't, do they? They just have codes. So from darkest to lightest, I've got 737, and then I've got 707. I forgot they didn't have names. So I'm using the 737, and I'm going to go around the edge of everything. I've already done round this little bit down here, and we can always deepen it up later, but when we get the black in there, I'm not sure that we'll need it. So I'm going to go around everything with the dark colour, like this, all in those little spaces. And it doesn't matter, I know I've gone over in some places, but that doesn't matter because we're going to be blacking this out. So we'll go over that. I'm going to go over that with my Posca pens. Now, you don't have to use paint, you don't have to use acrylic. I could have used watercolour, but please be careful, because in the back of my mind somewhere, I think I can remember somebody saying that this paper doesn't like water. So be careful. You could use water-based markers even. I could have done that. Or you could just use the pencils if your hands don't hurt like mine do. You could just use the pencils. And then I'm going in with 707, and it will smooth all that paint out, and all that horribleness will be gone. And you can get in all those tiny little bits, even though we don't need to be that careful, because I've already, like I said, we're going to go over it. We can get right up to the edge of the page. There we go. Right, now before I go any further, there was bats in the background, and my paint has sort of semi-coloured them in. I'm going to take my black, not that one, I don't want the ball sign one, I want the Jelly Roll, which is a fine one, it's a 06, and if I bring you in just slightly, I don't know if you'll be able to pick up on it, you can see how patchy it is. But I am going to go in with my jelly roll pen and draw back in those black bats. We don't want to lose these features because that's what makes the page look awesome. So I'm just going to draw those back in as best I can. So if you water down the paint, you will get a sort of somewhat transparency. And then if you need to do little features like this, you'll be able to pick them up. So I've got a little one here, which is really cool. And it's actually such good fun. So I'm just finding all of them and filling them in. There's another little tiny one here. Right, was there any more? There's a tiny one here. You could add more if you wanted to, but I'm not gonna mess. So we use a 737, which is our dark one. Let me just turn the page round. I don't want to smudge all that black. 737 to go round our buildings, round our queen, which is our darker of the blues. It's like a bluey grey. It's very, very pretty. I forgot how lovely these are to colour with. They're just gorgeous. They're lovely and soft and creamy. I do like them. Okay, and then we go in with our 707, which is our brighter of the blues, and we fill that in. And you'll have hardly any work to do at all because the acrylic paint makes the paper, it changes the composition of the paper so you get more grip for your pencil. So if you ever have a colouring book that is like slippery paper and you're finding it difficult, sometimes, don't quote me on this, I don't want anybody messing up a colouring book, but I have tried sometimes, if you just take a paintbrush, a damp paintbrush, and paint water over it basically, let it dry completely, that will change the composition and you'll just get more grip for your pencil. So there's a little tip, a little Lucy tip. Don't go ruining your colouring books and then coming at me though, folks. Do it at your own risk. Just an experiment I did once and I think it worked. Can't remember what book it was in, but it does work. There we go. Right, I'll stop faffing because the video is going to be long enough as it is. I'm going to go and do the mammoth job of smoothing all this out and getting all this bit coloured and blended, and you'll see a vast difference when I come back in the next second. Alright, my friends. Right, I've smoothed the sky out and I'm quite happy with it. And now, they are wax pencils, so there is quite a sheen, but I like it on this page. Right, fun part. Let's dump out the Poscas. Got a little bag of Poscas here. I like the fine one, this one maybe. Let's just start with this one. And now I use the PC1MR, this is, and 0.7mm. They're very confusing, aren't they, Poscas? So it's got this tiny little metal nib on it. Alright? So this is the fun part. Basically, everything in the background, apart from the windows, is black. Oh, yes. And it looks so cool. So I'm going to come in probably a bit too close because it's going to focus on the end of the pen. So all of this is going to be jet black. I'm really looking forward to doing this bit. So it just looks so amazing. And can you imagine then when we've done this, if we could put some kind of glitter or something maybe on it. I don't know yet. Maybe she needs more, but we'll see when we get there. But look how cool this is going to look. And then anywhere that I went over, it doesn't matter because my Posca pen is going to cover the whole thing up. So if you don't have Posca and you have like jelly rolls or you don't mind the reverse page, being coloured on. You're not so worried about that. You could use alcohol markers for this. You could have done the sky in alcohol markers. You could do the sky in entirely in pencil. It's up to you. But the minute I saw this page and looked it up, I was like, oh my goodness, I have to try this. It just looks so special. So I went through the pencils, and I just think this paper, I never could get on with harder pencils, so the squishier the better. So you could use your Prismas or wax-based pencils that are soft, I would. Like, I don't think I would attempt to use Black Widows on this page. Amazon Basics, they might work well. So, let's do this bit. I'm dying to see what this looks like. So, I'm just looking, that should be blue in there. So, I'm just going to sharpen it. They do wear down very quickly because they are soft and squishy, but do you know what? I do really like them, and I would buy a spare set because they're just gorgeous. That's supposed to be blue there. Okay, so now we're going to go in and do the buildings. Let's do this one. And they are all black apart from the windows. It's very spooky. And then wherever I've sort of fluffed up, I can go over the edge, neaten that up, and it doesn't matter. That bit's supposed to be blue as well. Wrong pencil. I'm just using the lighter of the two blues here. And go round that window. Like that. I'm not going to colour the whole thing with you on screen. You would be demented probably by my incessant wittering and just watching me use a Posca pen to fill in all this background. So literally everything in the background is going to be black. Now I could use paints again, but and I do like using my paints. And I have the Americano black paint, which is absolutely incredible. Really opaque and lovely, but Posca's so easy. You can control it. I don't have to worry about my shakes. I can go back over it to make it really opaque. There's different sizes of pen. So yeah, very convenient, let's say that. Okay, so let it dry in between. And then what we will have is a very spooky silhouetted black background. If I don't go over the bits that are supposed to be blue, that is. I have got bigger Posca pens than this, but I just wanted to fill this building in with you. Okay, so the next one up that I'm going to use on this picture is not that one. It's this one. I really like this one. It's got a really soft nib. It doesn't mess your page up like that one. These ones, the PC 1mm, 0.7mm, the ones like that do tend to scratch your page up, whereas these two don't. So like now I've gone over that, I should let it dry really, but this pen is just amazing. And it is PC 3mm, and it says 0.9 to 1.3mm if you're looking for them. But look how intense that becomes. So I just get my outline done and then just go in over the top so you get that nice smooth black. So all of this around the pumpkins, all around here, avoiding these little like I think they're supposed to be like the pumpkin plant, these bits. Avoid all those but fill the rest in black. When I've done that, we will meet back up and yeah, do the next part. See you in a second, folks. Right, so that's the background almost completed. All I need to do is put the yellow in where the lights will go. I haven't decided whether I'm going to use a gel pen, a pencil or what yet. Now's the scary part, because we need to address her skin. So I have got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pencils. From lightest to darkest this time is 766, 780, 728, 781 and 787, and we'll see then if I want to add some more. I mean, this Jasmine's picture is almost like a it's almost like a Disney character, the skin. It's very flat. I don't know if I can leave it alone to do that. So if I just come in slightly so we can get her beautiful face, there we go, and move you over. This is going to look so cool, I think. I've got a little bit of tidying up to do around the top, but I just needed a change because it takes a while, doesn't it, to do these things. So 766 I'm going in with, which is our lightest colour, and I am going to put that over her face really lightly. Excuse me, I've got a frog in my throat. You will barely see this, I shouldn't think, but it will give us that wax base so that we can build up colour. And then we can leave out lighter spots where we want the highlights. So I want highlight, I think, above her eyebrow here, a little bit on the tip of her nose, and her chin, and a little bit on the front of her cheeks, just to give her, it will give her cheekbones. So, we can try, folks, we can only try. But I'm not Jasmine Becket-Griffith, and it's not going to turn out like Jasmine Becket-Griffith's, nor should it, because it's mine. We can, yeah, I can do my best to sort of emulate her picture, and that's what I like to do. So that's that one. We're going to build up colour slowly. So this is 780, sorry. I'm going to go in with that, and I'm going to start to, I'm going to leave that very pale first colour. I'm getting confused with numbers, so I won't do it. Where I want all our highlights, and fill in the other spots with these colours. We may have to do a two-parter on this video, folkly dokleys, because there's a lot of elements to cover, although once we get to pumpkins they're all done the same. Dress is going to take a long time to do. Okay, so I'm going to leave that bit that we talked about just round her eyebrows and the top of her nose. I'm leaving that paler. We can always add later, and then we're going to come round here. I'm going to leave a little bit where her cheekbones will be, so they're paler. Tip of her nose, we're going to leave that out. And these pencils, by the way, are working like a dream on this paper. So I thought they might, because Prismas do. Prismas work really well. And these pencils are lovely, soft and squishy. I would recommend them if you're looking for a cheaper wax pencil. They are gorgeous pencils. And 100 in the set, so okay. Let's go to the next colour down, which is 728, and let's start pushing that in. We just won't come out as far this time. And we're going to have to take our time. we can start to see that paler bit of cheek appearing there now. Give her nose a bit of shape. There we are. Skin always takes forever, always. Which is why I usually like to use alcohol markers as a base, or, you know, watercolour paint I've got. I could have done that, but it kind of scared me after doing the sky. I was a bit freaked out that I'd spoilt the page. And at least with pencils you can go in with an eraser. Okay, that's that colour. Right, now we're moving into the much darkers now, and then we'll go back over. Just going to sharpen this. So this one is 781. So I'm going to put these colours where I want the darker colour. Aren't they just the perfect skin tones? Come round her eye. I'm not quite sure whether that's... I don't know, that's a bit odd, isn't it? Well, her eyebrow's there as well. So I think that's her face, that's why it's looking odd there. In there, so I'm just going back through those colours. Yeah, that's better. She was looking a little alien-like there. That's better. Alright, now I'm back on the same colour. And there is another colour to come, which is darker. But if we just take our time and fill it up, I won't overdo it that way. Let's get in around that eye. Yeah, so I think we may need two parts. I think if we do our skin together and the lights in the windows, we can do a beautiful dress and the pumpkins and everything else on the next one. Right, so sorry, this is 787. Yeah, they're not having a problem with this paper at all. In fact, they really like it. I was very impressed with these pencils. For Faber-Castell, like a budget set, Kevin brought them for me, our long-term supporter. He buys me loads of lovely stuff, bless him, to use on the channel. And I'm so impressed with them, they're just so lovely. And having done the budget range series, we'll come in just slightly more. Having done the budget range series, these were ones that would be way up at the top of the list. They're not particular, they're not like $18.99 or Amazon Basics budget, but equally I would be more than happy to replace them as I run out, because they're just gorgeous. Right, now I'm going backwards. So 781. I haven't done a nose. That's okay. Right, stop panicking and slow yourself down. Keep the tip of her nose. tip of her nose paler. Okay, next colour is 728. And if we're lightly going back over everything we've done there, it will help it all blend in. I don't want to bring too much of that. But she's coming, look, here she comes. Next colour is 780. And all of a sudden those colours all start to merge and blend. Okay, and our palest colour, 766. Here we go. I went a bit dark there. There's a little bit of a spot that went too dark, so this will help to knock that back and smooth it out. Okay, let's see. What do we need now, folks, do you think? Excuse me. Right, I'm going to go back in with my dark now, 787. Really bring out those areas that I want darker. Okay, we could do with a little bit of pink, I think. Because if I'm not going to stick to Jasmine's colours totally on her skin, I might as well add a bit of colour in her. Although she's Queen of Halloween and she's got pumpkins around her, so maybe we don't want pink. We'll see. Gone quiet because I was thinking, sorry. So yeah, I'm just going to keep going. This is why skin is a real pain to do on videos, because it's a lot of the same repetition. Going backwards and forwards, blending and layering. And you guys probably getting very bored. Okay, and again, I'm going to work back through the colours. Not forget to put it on this time. I forgot the nose last time. I think, yeah, I think she'll be okay actually once we've smoothed her out. Yeah, just working back through the colours. She's got that kind of orangey hue to her, which is going to look really cool. Well, she's beigey orange, but it's going to look really cool with the pumpkins. We will add, I'll see if I can add a little bit of even more Well, maybe we can add some pink. Maybe it won't hurt. We'll see. See, I can't leave things alone. There's no way that I could have done the skin like Jasmine's done it. It's just very flat, but her pictures are just incredible anyway, aren't they? Okay, what one was that? 73? Yeah, last colour. Change directions to get rid of any of those pencil lines. Okay, I think I am going to add some pink. To hell with it, folks. Has to be done. You know what I'm like. It has to be faffed and filled with to the nth degree. Okay. That needs smoothing. Okay, let's get some pink. Here's our colours. What pink? I don't want it. Oh, that's a pretty one. Oh, there's like a peachy one over there. Let's try that first, 'cause that's more orangey. Should we do that? Yeah, let's try that. 718. Yeah, 718. Let's try a bit of that. I don't know if that's going to show or change the... Might be too light. But whatever we do on here, we're going to have to do on the rest of her, so this is now going to have to be part of our list. Okay, let me get something a little pink. Let's try that pink down here. This 790, that one. 790 is this one. And let's put that in. Okay, this is what I remember about the paper. So even when you're very careful, it doesn't like to take a lot of layers. Just doesn't like it. I remember now. So you have to sort of go in and get it done. So that's how, mind you, it might just be that it's that pale it's not showing up. It's hardly showing. Or is it? I don't know, folks. I don't know. I don't know whether it is or it isn't. Oh, I think it might be. Anyway, right, I'm going back to our 787 colour. Eyebrows I'll deal with later. Just want to smooth that out. I've got a horrible line there. Okay. Now I've got in her eye. What is the world coming to? There we go. Rescued. One very bloodshot eye otherwise. Hair as well. It's because I'm panicking. There we are. Okay, slow down. There we go. All right. It does look very like patchy, so I don't know if that is the paper saying I've had enough, which is what I remember happening last time, so I'm not going to faff too much. I've just taken the very lightest one and I'm just going to smooth it out one last time, otherwise I risk fluffing up the whole thing. The paper then sort of just says no thanks, not doing any more, and that's what it's doing now. And it's not the fact that I'm using budget pencils, because it did it with the Prismas as well. You have to just get your layers down and get on with it. Here we go. So maybe next time we colour in this book, or in these books, I'll have to remember to use some alcohol markers. I think that'll be fine. I think that will be fine. I might, let's see, there's a little bit of, this is a little bit of white Prisma. I know I'm cheating, but I just might want to move that colours around a little bit more. See, even that's not really. No, I think it's just like said, right, yeah, get lost. I've had enough of you putting pencil on me, get off. Yeah, I'm going to leave her alone. So, I am going to go off and do the rest of her skin. I tell you what might work, and that's a little bit of blender. But I'll try it off camera and let you know if it works. You know, these colourless blenders. I just don't want to mess, because I'll end up with a page that I can't use at all. Alright, my lovely friends, I'm going to go and do her skin, and I might leave like one side for us to do together. And then we'll meet back up. See you in a second. Okay, lovelies, I've done one half of her. And the paper is very difficult to work with, I have to say. It's very finicky. I don't know, it's just like it reaches a limit, and it, like I say, it's not the pencils. You just have to be very careful with the paper. So, we are going to, exactly the same as we did before. I don't really need to go through it with you, because you can see on this one how I've done it. But I did a quick coat of the palest colour. So I'd already done that, but there's no harm in putting another coat on. Yeah, it's just like the paper just, although it's such good, it feels like it's such good quality, it's just like it reaches a limit and says, right, well, I'm not taking any more. That's it. So yeah, it's kind of go in and get it done and stop at that. So, okay, so I'm taking the darkest now, and I'm going in where I think there would be shadow. So I'm going round her cleavage. And then I think we'll call it a night for tonight, and I'll carry on colouring and do another video, because it's otherwise I'm going to be rushing, and it'll be like 3 hours long, I should think. There's a lot to consider colouring this picture. So I'm putting the dark on the inside, as you can see from this arm. Give her a bit of an elbow join, rather. Some around her hair. Okay. Oh, that dirty mark is. Will it come off? Oh, it has come off. Don't know what that was, folks. Let's just put my... that there. So, round her hand, she's got shadow around her hand. A little bit from her skirt. around her fingers and the back of her leg here. A little bit around where her boot goes. Okay, and we're going with our next colour. Yeah, you just got to go in, get it done. I know that sounds stupid, but it's kind of how the paper works. It's like, get your colours down before the ticket sales close, if you know what I mean. So that's what I'm doing. So the next time I colour in this book, or Jasmine's books, I will probably do an, I'm just going to have to bite the bullet and do an alcohol marker base. Although I just don't want it to be on the reverse side, but I'd rather the reverse side to have alcohol marker on it than a ruined page. So okay, next colour. Leave a patch and then just build it up, and I'm leaving like this edge here, the outer edge of her arm, the very palest colour. Yeah, so if you are one of those colourists that don't like layering and you just like going in, this book is yours. You'd love it. So you just need to go in gung-ho, know what you're doing, get on with it, and yeah. It's not, I would say it's not a layering paper. Doesn't like it. Just smash in those colours, folks. So I don't know whether I might add some alcohol marker base to the rest of the picture, or paint. I could do watercolour because it worked so beautifully with the background. And like I was talking about earlier, changing that composition of the paper, that probably would help. So yeah, maybe we'll do that. Let me know in the comments if you're watching this video what medium you'd like as a base, because I think I'm gonna have to use something, because it kind of like, the more you play with it, it almost like, it's like the it's just like resists the pencil, and I've tried all sorts of pencil on this paper. So okay, I'm going to go back in and deepen up now. We didn't do round there. It's not good. It's got a very white booby there. We can't have that. And you kind of get like this texture that comes through. But yeah, so let me know in the comments. I would be inclined, I think, probably to use a base of watercolour, but I could use alcohol markers. And if you're following along, please let me know what you'd prefer me to use as the base, so that we don't get this problem. And I'll go with the majority again. And obviously, usually when I do my base, it is just a base to help you put colours down so you don't have to work so hard. So if you don't have watercolours or alcohol markers, you'd still be able to follow along if you have been. So I wouldn't worry about that. So yeah, so just let me know what in the comment section, if you would please, what medium you'd like me to use as the base for the rest of it. I mean, the chair is quite a big space. Her dress certainly is, and I don't want all this sort of bitty look that I'm getting. So Yeah, it just doesn't like playing. But I mean, it's coming out okay, isn't it? Don't you think? I think she looks all right. I just wanted you to be aware that that this is a bit of a problem with the paper. Obviously, I'm rushing here, and I'll smooth that off. I'll smooth it out as much as I can off camera. I do have acrylic paint markers, but they are, as well, they can be finicky to colour over. So I don't want to risk that either. So it'd be, let me know, watercolours or alcohol markers, I think we'll try. Acrylic can also be a little bit finicky, especially in these little spots. So yeah, so tell me between watercolours and alcohol markers. I'm sorry I'm repeating myself a lot today. So that's how I'm going to do her skin. I'm going to keep going back in. As best I can. But yeah, I would definitely recommend put a base on this paper. Okay, nearly there. Let's fill that up. There we are. Right, I'll fiddle a faff off camera. Now, for the one final bit for this video, yeah, I'm definitely going to split it in two parts because we've got so much to do. We've got a beautiful dress, we've got a hair, we've got a crown, we've got the mushrooms, the pumpkins, and I'll end up spoiling it. So, what I've got here is a Toolie Art acrylic paint pen. And this is the pastel set. There is a review on my channel of these, well, a swatch of. I don't really review, I just tell you what I think. This is colour number 23 of the pastel set. And I'm going to do the buildings with it. So the windows. There we go. And again, the beauty of these is, if I mess up, I can get my black Posca back out and sort it out. There we go. Like there. My window's now crooked. But if I feel I want to brighten it up, I can always try and put a bit of pencil over it. I think it'll be good. That way it won't look like it's on fire. Just looks like there's a bit of light in the background. That's the trouble, isn't it, with colouring windows at night like this, silhouette windows. It could look like the whole town is on fire if you're not careful. So if you don't have these, you could go in with I think there's like the very first pencil. Well, actually, I'll just give you the number. If you don't have these, you could use the 789, which is a very pale yellow. You could use that instead. That would work. I think those bits actually in there are supposed to be, yeah, they are supposed to be blue, like the sky. This is window here. I think the most of it, that's it. They were supposed to be blue, but I've coloured them in. So maybe I should just go with the flow and do that up here. Just so it looks like there's light there as well. There we go. What do you think? We've got a silhouetted background. Right, let's come out and have a look. This is how far we've got. So far, it doesn't look like an awful lot, but my goodness, it's taken some work. So we've got our acrylic and pencil background, our Posca background, and our partially finished skin. So I will keep working on that until the paper says, I don't think so, Lucy. Enough. Alright, my lovely friends, I'm going to go off, put this video together for you, and then I'm going to continue colouring so I can get the second part up for you ASAP. Thank you so much for watching and all your support and love. And until we meet again very soon, take really good care of yourselves, and I'll see you very soon. Night night.